After 2 days of tracking, the wild boar is finally a disaster, carrying the hind legs on the shoulder through the jungle as a victor. However, what was the whole process of arrest like? A century-old tree. The new interior of the tree is completely dead. Just knock it up. The original solid wood has become crumbs. It's not a natural death. But there is a hidden place here. Huge insect nests. The fragments are covered with large and small bug eyes. Shows the strength of the ethnic group at that time. But we don't know why. This place is abandoned. Otherwise, Longhair will have a meal. The perfect protein breakfast. And just keep going. Look carefully for a place to climb. Vines on tree trunks. Take a bite of a leaf. Accurate judgment can be made by taste. His fruit can be used safely. This should have irregular fruit that grows in the soil. Rich and high-quality starch. Longhair must collect as much as possible. Climb the branch. There's plenty of light. Will make the fruit fuller and more nutritious. Shake with all your strength. Full-fledged predators will all fall off to fish. A collection of grains above the ground. The pile is full enough to eat. It's not much time until dark. Handle the ropes for making traps. Longhair must hurry up. Where's the trap set? Has always been able to hunt. The most crucial point to success. It requires sheer patience. Look carefully. This natural rock wall hidden in the bushes. Longhair found a weakness here. Hair in the soil. Look up at the sky. He also judged that this forest is likely to receive rain at night. And inside the rock here, there are also deeper caves hidden. All kinds of conditions can reflect. There is a hunt here. Touch of things. Ejection trap, placed directly at the entrance to the cave. As long as the prey wants to burrow in, will be cleared. The second trap is still chosen by the stone wall. Because the slightly raised rock here, it has created a natural aisle at the bottom. External plant. This is where prey like to pass. The trap of pillar 3. Longhair has found a more suitable position. A large cave formed by the joining of 2 rocks. Here is the animal shelter, and search. The food is a very suitable place to eat. A bonfire rises in a clearing. 30 minutes of cooking. The snow-white starch is already manic. Peel off the skin gently. Snow-white meat, soft and waxy taste. This is much smoother than eating sweet potatoes. Keep fighting. Running out of fire. To completely eliminate possible hidden dangers. Burying is the best way. Bring a burning stake. Longhair must be before dark. Find a place to stay. 63 hours of continuous travel. He found a place, a natural cave hidden among the trees. It seems that this will serve as the temporary base for this camping. The 4th trap. Longhair seems to have found a hair trail. Fresh soil all around. Explain that this is their latest lair. Directly at the entrance to the cave. Free space next to it. Shade it with branches and leaves. Everything is ready. Just wait a night. The morning sun has just filled the forest. Longhair can't wait to go. Water droplets on leaves. Shows his correct judgment yesterday. A light rain fell last night. The trap has been triggered. It's a hare. He was hanging from the ropes. The fluff all over his body is completely soaked. He must be looking for. Jasper broke into a trap on the way. Untie him with long hair. Very good body shape. You must know that rabbit meat is fragrant for thieves. What's more, it grows in. Hare in the jungle. Reset the trap. Continue to the next naturally formed cave. It's the same one. The 2 hairs are the same size. Have a lot of weight. You just kind of clean up the body hair. A hair and a skewer. Game like this. Of course, charcoal roasting is the best feeling. 2 hours of continuous baking. Food has become. Eat the nutrient-rich internal organs first. Tear off the burnt thighs. The crisp sound of tearing is getting worse. A big bite is also fragrant to the lips and teeth. Fine processing of bamboo skewers. Make sure the surface is smooth and straight overall. The arrows must also be baked and polished at high temperatures. To achieve maximum honey, finally, cut the tail. Install the directional keyboard. The rope used for fixing. This time long hair. Choose to use your own hair. Because this can minimize tail weight, so that the arrows fired can fly further. Officially set off with Nugon. Looking for clues in the jungle. A soft ground caught the long-haired girl's attention. It's full of wild boar suggestions, and the traces left behind don't last very long. Looks like I have good luck today. Slowly tracking. According to the traces left along the way, determine the possible route of wild boars. Now you have to be as careful as possible, according to the freshness of the season. The prey is likely to be nearby. After an hour of continuous tracking, the prey was finally found next to a rock. It's a wild boar. Although she looks underage. But the size is enough for me to eat 3 or 4. Oh my god, he looks like. No long hair has been found yet. Sitting in a bush barrel, pull up the male and female, fletching the arrow. He aimed at the wild boar's body and pulled the trigger decisively. The pain caused the wild boar to flee. The long hair is also rushing forward to chase. The wild boar has been shot. Won't run away too fast. We must hurry before he completely escapes. Find him. And redesign. At this moment, the wild boar stopped in a bush. There was still an arrow stuck in his body. Slowly approaching, he raised his gun again and hit the target accurately. The sword seemed to have just hit the boar's neck. But it's still not enough to shoot it. However, this is a very strong injury to Longhair. The wild boar escapes again. Longhair must be pursued again. However, after nearly a whole day of searching, it was getting dark now. My Longhair is exhausted now. The sky gradually darkens. It is no longer suitable to continue the pursuit. Competitive life. I will sit by this fire tonight and rest. This is also more beneficial. Continue tracking tomorrow morning. Genius just dawned. Longhair has already embarked on the road of pursuit. There was a rock dripping with wild boar blood. According to the degree of solidification and color, can determine the approximate time that prey has passed. It should be not far away. Following the blood trail, the arrow that hit Bodang made the wild boar bleed profusely. Finally found it. The wild boar lay under a tree. After a day and night of escape. Finally exhausted. At this moment, I still have the blood I shot yesterday. 2 bows and arrows. It seems that this arrow played a big role. Longhair with thorns raised the male and female. Coming towards the boar's neck. The third shot. Very powerful. Can drill directly into the deep. Lift your front legs and feel it. Weight of prey. This one has plenty of food. Long-haired girl is overjoyed. Carry the wild boar and go to find a place to deal with it. A dry riverbed. Ample space. Great for pulling arrows out of wild boars. This one on my body is not deep. The 2 thin stems. It can completely penetrate blood vessels. Throw the whole thing into the fire. Scrape while hot while baking. A full hour. Finally, all the pig hair was cleaned up. Come to the stream beside. Clear flowing mountain spring. It can better slaughter wild boars. Remove the internal organs first. Rinse the body clean. Process large and small intestines. Find a long bamboo pole and wrap it tightly around. Bake directly over the fire. The fish's internal organs. You need to add a separate grill. All organs are good things. And all are edible. It is more nutritious than pork. Finally, put on a large triangular grill. Tie up the whole wild boar. This requires a long baking time. The essence is completely straightforward. Everything is taken care of. The small intestine is now mature. Really attractive color. Longhair is a Western buffet. Cut a small section at a time. Taste carefully. Just 20 minutes. Chewy and soft charcoal grilled small intestine. It has been completely swept away by the long hair. The second skewer of offal is also partially ripe. Look at this tender pork liver. Have a small piece. That's chewy too. Charcoal grilled wild boar chops. Burnt aroma. Adequate food storage. Clean mountain spring crab as a side dish. The roasted wild boar meat is almost half dry. The offal is also well done. This is the time when it is most tender to eat. Big bite. 2 days of continuous tracking of physical exertion can be fully supplemented. However, if I had stayed in this abandoned river, continue smoking, there will be no rain in Sapphire. Changfa decided to return to the cave. Clean banana leaves are stacked on top of each other. The whole roasted pig should be cut into pieces for easy carrying. I found 2 extra bamboos. A bamboo basket is also needed to hold the pork. But for long hair, that's a piece of cake. After all, his knitting skills, they are the top existence in the survival world. Look at the delicate arrangement of the bamboo pieces. Even the gaps between are almost the same size. Half an hour of knitting. A regular bamboo basket is completed. The pork was cut into small pieces again. Everything is packed and secured. He had to get back to the cave before dark. Speaking of long hair at this time, it seems that he has no intention of returning to his previous bamboo house. Successful hunting for several days, he has been somewhat distracted. It seems that long-term settlement is not suitable for him. Exploration at your leisure is the most real yearning in the heart. 4 hours of trek. The long hair finally reached the cave. Wild boar meat needs to be smoked quickly. Hot weather may only take 1 night. All meat will be completely destroyed. Rebuild the grill. Each piece of processed wild boar meat. They were all fixed above the fire with bamboo sticks. Continuous heating can delay deterioration indefinitely. A new day is coming. A good, authentic pork chop. This will be the first breakfast of the day. Bake at high temperature for 30 minutes. The internal oil has been completely stimulated. Finally, we can eat. Cut into pieces along the grain of the ribs. Chop horizontally into normal rib size. The meat is just soft and tender. Each piece is packed with rich fat. Put it in your mouth and chew it continuously. The aroma flows in. The mouth is full of wantonness. The remaining wild boar meat needs to be roasted continuously, and Changfa will continue to explore the surrounding resources. A stream not far away. Cool mountain spring. I can get rid of the fatigue of the past 2 days. However, an inadvertent turn of head. But I found more delicious food again. In this crack of stone, the delicious mountain spring crabs are hidden. Just lift the stone and you can easily catch it. Since crabs exist, there can't be only one. Continue searching. It is possible in any crack of the rock. Harvest of 8. It's enough to return to the cave. 4 in a group. 2 skewers of Tampao mountain spring crab. Who can refuse? What's more, each one is full of cream and yellow. However, since such a stream has been discovered, how can we let go of another kind of wild game? Wild rare grouper. No more than 1 or 2 of a certain size, but the fish meat is extremely delicious. 2 holes are cut into the end of the slender bamboo tube. This allows water to flow in and out of the fruit normally. Then we've a special seal that cannot be taken out. Dig up some fresh earthworms. 2 or 3 pieces of. Back to the stream again. Gentle open pond. This is the best place to place this fish species. Must have an estuary with a low flow rate. Of course, you can also put it the other way around. After all, some fish. I just like the thrill of going against the current. Long hair without worries about food and drink. The current state is very leisurely. Finished today's dinner. By the warm fire. The huge brown fish also lies down to sleep. No wonder he didn't want to go back to his old bamboo house. Another quiet jungle. He came to get his breakfast in the morning. Gently pick up the halo net. There are many gains in each one. There are about 20 to 30 of them, big and small. Back to. In the cave. Clip the chicken wings one by one on the bamboo skewers. Charcoal grill. This is the most tender way to prepare this kind of game. Half an hour of waiting. Soft body. Even the fish bones inside have been completely softened. One by one. Whether it's teeth or tongue, you can feel the freshness thoroughly. After eating the fresh mountain spring crab and rare grouper, long hair that is still unfinished, once again I came to this clear stream. Because there is another. Excellent appetizers are waiting for him. It's not difficult to find this kind of food. The clear mountain spring allows you to see through the lake bottom at a glance. That's right. It's this symphonic snail that lives underwater, rich in vitamins and calcium and iron content. Decided that he would be a wilderness, an indispensable food for survival. Fresh small food, a bunch of 3 or 5, will be their last family reunion. This screw is fully nourished by spring water. Not only is the appearance smooth, and it's buried deep in the hard shell, the meat in it is even more tender, and the number of parasites, compared to Indian gross watches. That is also the existence of a younger brother. 2 hours of careful searching. Hundreds of grams of fresh sweet screws will be his first meal of the day. Breakfast is also full of patience for long hair. Sitting quietly by the rock, with the back of a knife, knock off the pointed but one by one. This kind of food. The dog's attitude. It is very worth learning from our contemporary young people. More than an hour of patience. It's finally done, all packed into bamboo tubes. Then put it into the mountain spring. Shake it up and down hard. Careful cleaning. Back to the cave. The manic charcoal fire can't wait. It doesn't take long. The boiling mountain spring water will make. Every screw meat is extremely tender. Peel the leaves for a table. Pour out all the cooked snails. Although each snail meat is hidden deep within the hard shell, but still can't escape the flexible tongue of long hair. In the blink of an eye, the long hair has been fanned here. They lived there for more than a week. The smoked wild boar is almost finished. He's getting ready again for the next hunt. Craft a bow and arrow with your bare hands. Not only can you spend leisurely time, perhaps the hunting later, and self-defense. The time has come to the morning of the 3rd day. The sleepy long hair is not yet awake. Lots of practice yesterday. It took too much of his strength. The last bit of wild boar has also been served as a midnight snack. Completely wiped out. Time for another hunt, searching carefully in the jungle. A hidden trace in the bushes attracted the attention of long hair. This is excreted by some kind of animal, although it is temporarily impossible to determine what species, but from the perspective of how much is excreted, the prey should be small in size. Set a trap nearby. There is a high probability that they will be captured. Tear off the stout rattan. It's a natural rope. Prey up to 100 kilograms. It is not easy to tear it off directly. And at the end, you pop a movable circular collar. Tie a small dead button in the middle. A branch with a fixed rope placed above the ground. The stout trunk responsible for ejecting and wilting. To insert into a sufficient depth, tie with rattan. Short branches are inserted on the dead button in the middle. Overall pull down fixed. Place the round collar, as long as the head of the prey passes through, and touch the switch on the ground. The lever will be fastened immediately. There is no escape. Keep looking. Not far from the trap. Long hair found a second excretion. Still the same setup method. The vertical snares are enough for one end of the prey. The traps at both whales have been set. The long hair has to sit back in the cave, waiting quietly. The morning of the 4th day has just arrived. Long hair follows the direction of the rising sun. Go to the place where the trap is set. Careful observation along the way. You can make sure you find the right direction. However, the first trap is still intact. The prey did not reappear in this place. Hope at this time. It's all pinned on the trap in the second place. Stealthily approaching. Bend over to take a closer look. Looks like prey has been caught. Complete excitement running fast. An adult goat. Hanging dead on the trap. For catching rattan ants, there are dogs wrapped around the tree trunk next to it. This should be after triggering the trap. The fear of the unknown kept him from getting out of trouble, and the tighter the neck. Suffocation from this deadly well. Such a body shape. Weight over 30 or 40 kgs. This is more exciting than catching a wild boar. After all, goat meat is much more delicious than wild boar meat. However, I am used to seeing long hair with strong winds and waves, but seemed very calm. So much wild goat meat. When are you going to eat? This is really worrying. Long hair returning with loot. There's a lot of work to be done. Such a big body. It has more hair than a wild boar. Want to clean up completely. It may take a full half day. A blazing fire is the only way to deal with it. Although I don't know the smell of burning wool. But that wouldn't smell good. 2 hours of continuous baking. Finally, all the body hair was burned off. Not far away is the stream. Here is a good place to clean it up again. Despite its seemingly large size, but it seems that there is not much meat. Skilled knife skills, precise parts, careful cutting. The perfect lamb chops are cut off repeatedly, gradually taking shape, flowing mountain spring. The water reflects the snow-white flesh of the goat. Cutting it into these 5 pieces is enough. After all, hand-torn lamb is the greatest pleasure. Back to the cave. Bundling bamboo sticks one by one, orderly discharge above the fire, can continuously dry the internal moisture. Long hair must be before they completely deteriorate. After eating, fresh offal is his first delicacy. Still the same bamboo skewers. Still the same medium rare. Not only can you enjoy the pleasure of tearing, it can also effectively prevent the loss of nutrients, even though it may not look good. But it tastes extremely soft and tender. Now I am really full. Let him continue to roast the mutton. I must take a perfect nap. Life in the cave has lasted for 2 weeks. It's time to set off again afterwards. Pack up all the lamb chops, bring a moving fire source. Long hair once again went deeper into the jungle. 2-hour trip. A moving fire has burned out. We must ensure the continuation of the fire. Fortunately, he prepared a second one. Continue on the road, a lunar shrub. The open space in the middle is a good place to camp. This is it. Collect dead branches as channels for sperm and eggs. But when I was about to return, Chongfa discovered an unusual place. The soil around the roots of a shrub, extremely loose. As the saying goes, if something is abnormal, there must be something wrong. This is probably some kind of animal's nest. Continuous excavation. The hidden hole finally appears. However, after a rough measurement, but I found that there is still a long distance. Hitting the tree trunk and continuing to dig. About there. Reach your hand into the cave. I really dug out a lot of dead leaves, but the holes that kept appearing around, and the complexity of the interior, let long hair have to choose to give up. After all, it's getting late. If we don't build a shelter quickly, tonight, the sky will be my blanket and the ground will be my bed. Rekindle the fire. Cut down some tree poles for construction. The compactness of time. We can only build a simple shelter. The bundles of rattan create a general frame. The high front and low back shape is enough to maintain defense. Large palm leaves are used as roof coverings. To save more time. The same is true for walls. Just for some shelter. Cross compilation. Finally, leave 2 leaves. As a bed tower for sleeping. Everything is ready. Goat meat needs to be smoked quickly. As for this complete sheep's head, at this time, I haven't thought about my long hair yet. Is it roasted? Or cook it? But for the remaining hind leg. Of course, the charcoal grilled lamb leg is the best. First cut a small hole in the skin, in criticism of the huge baking tongs. Half an hour of high fire. Fragrant charcoal grilled lamb leg. It is still edible. Insert the whole string into the ground. Western style aristocratic eating. Cut into small pieces with a knife. The medium rare tenderness is full of the original flavor of lamb. Inlet oil flow, very chewy, such a good thing. Of course, I don't want to waste my long hair. The cartilage part, even if my face is twisted. Gnashing of teeth. Also tear it off bit by bit. Finally, a complete bone. Big bite. Complete immersion dry reaction. A new day is coming. Long hair just woke up. But what exactly is there in the unfamiliar area? But you still need to explore it yourself. Bamboo basket on back. Get started. Not far from the camp. There are vast bamboo forests here, just emerged from the ground. The bamboo shoots are very fresh and tender. Besides, my own goat meat. If I could cook with him, isn't that freshness on top of freshness? Look carefully. The sharp corners hidden under the dead leaves. Not easy to find. Intricate bamboo roots. It also makes mining very difficult. Certainly, every bamboo shoot harvested is worth it. Just look at the appearance. You can feel its incomparable freshness. Mountain spring water cleans the smaller shoots. Wrap clean skin. Cut into pieces. All put into bamboo tubes and return to the camp. It seems. Today's breakfast should be tender bamboo shoots boiled mutton. Cut the next fine lamb chop and chop into small pieces. Neat bamboo tubes are stuffed full, and the remaining slightly larger bamboo shoots, also placed on the fire. After all, charcoal roast is tender and has a unique flavor. The bamboo shoots are ripe, eating bamboo shoots. While waiting for the mutton to simmer. An hour of waiting. I can finally get to the point. Splitting the shell of the bamboo tube. Fresh food is presented one by one. I'm really worried about eating like this every meal. Can he still maintain a perfect figure with long hair? Distance replenishment. 4 days have passed since the goat. He had to finish all the lamb in a hurry. After all, they were on the verge of decay. However, long hair who pursues the quality of life. Still not as simple as that. So delicious after all. It's hard to catch it again. A fallen dead wood. Humid and sultry climate. Make it a breeding ground for nutrition. This kind of greenhouse under certain lighting and suitable conditions. Plant fungus that only appears in degree. Its meat is thick and soft. It is the representative of freshness. If this is cooked with the leftover lamb, it will definitely taste different. The long hair needs to be picked all of it. Almost yellow transparent shape. shows that they are just emerging. Keep looking. A vine with fruit. Hidden in the bushes. Although there are many such things in the jungle, but it is also an existence that can be encountered but not sought. The fruit under the rhizome. It is rich in high-quality starch and protein. Dig deeper and deeper along the trend of the rattan. It seems that today's luck is not bad. The fruit is not hidden very deep. Just dug out a shallow hole. To know that many of these types of fruits, usually about a meter underground. The complete 2 sections are enough for self-consumption. All the side dishes. The ingredients are almost ready. By the clear mountain spring and stream, cut off a piece of bamboo as a cooking utensil that is about to be carried out next. Picked fresh fungus. Clean it piece by piece. Put it all in the sweet mountain spring. Back to the snack shelter. Remove all the remaining goat meat. Cut it into small pieces little by little. The whole 2 caddies of bamboo tubes have been filled. The 2 prerequisites that there is not much meat. Also take off. A steamer. One is grilled directly on the fire. The same is true of the roots dug earlier. However, he will be used as a staple food for suppression. 30 minutes of waiting. Grilled goat front legs are already edible. It just tastes good, but it feels a little laborious. Fortunately, the teeth of the long hair are good enough, otherwise, I really can't subdue him. The skin sheep is finished. At this time, the stewed fungus sheep and scorpion are also just steamed. Pour it all out, a whole bunch of them. Bite hard. Chew slowly. 1 bite of mutton. A bite of fungus. Although the long-haired stone-chopping expression, not very ornamental, but I can feel it enough. The taste of sheep and scorpions. Old and delicious for another sheepskin cooked. It made me completely understand. What do you mean it's hard to eat? 2 hands torn to death. Eyes closed. Adjust the angle of the entrance. Tear with all your strength. This really makes me pay for his teeth. Sweat. Roasted orange roots as a final staple. The purplish red flesh of the outer skin is also slightly sweet in the entrance. This meal was completely overdone. The time has come for the morning of the 2nd day, the last remaining back barrel. Longhair decided to make him breakfast today, so I can relive it. The deliciousness of charcoal roast lamb chops. Thick tree trunk for skewers. Buds on lamb chops, so that it can better come into contact with the charcoal fire. Fine bundle well. Put it in the center of the charcoal fire. 30 minutes of waiting. Take off the whole piece and eat first. The still tender fine and lean meat was cut off with a knife. Mouth full of fragrance. But this will be his last meal here. After all, I have been here for 6 years. 7 days. And most importantly, all the lamb has been eaten. He needs to quickly find the next brand new area. Carry out stress. All the lean meat that can be fought for has been eaten. The remaining dabu should also be carefully chopped clean. Eat and drink again. The long hair lay in its own cradle. He had to prepare for the afternoon expedition. Adequate physical preparation. Once again embarking on an unknown journey. 5 hours of travel. Long hair floating upstream along the river. Found a natural cave. He spent the night here yesterday. In the coolness of the early morning, long hair should be prepared for hunting quickly. It's been over a week. No salt supplementation. This will be very disadvantageous for the next players. But if you can catch enough wild mountain rats, it can make your body. The body has a certain amount of salt intake. Make several sets of stone trap trigger brackets. Go to the surrounding rivers. The angle channel formed by the stone and the bracket. Very attractive to mice. All the traps have been set up. It's time to go back and prepare today's lunch. A thick root of a brown fish tree. If you cut it down and bring it back and hollow it out, just the right size, it can be used to steam your own sheep's head. At the stream, hollow out the center bit by bit. This thick inner wall can fully withstand continuous baking with open flame. About there. This is the perfect stew pot shape. Long hair took the sheep's head. The sharp blade makes chopping effortless. All stuffed with tender banana heart as a side dish. Green leaves as embellishment. Evenly stir. The cool mountain spring is filled with. Put it on the fire. 2 hours of high heat cooking. By then, even the hair marrow in the sheep's head can be turned into thick soup. Finally, we can eat. At this time, long hair has both happiness and sadness. Happy is, this meal is fresh and delicious. The sad thing is, this will be my last mutton hot pot.